Siemaneczko, witam wszystkich w 6. części Let's Play Dragon Age Inkwizycja. Przypominam, że ostatnio już zakończyliśmy ostatecznie prolog na rozmowie z Kassandrą. Inkwizycja postanowiła odrodzić się na nowo, my mamy w tym pomóc wszystkim, a teraz obecnie zbieramy i rozmawiamy ze wszystkimi, znaczy zbieramy questy i rozmawiamy ze wszystkimi, z kim się tylko da. A nasz dzienniczek i tak już jest powoli zapełniony. Aha. Ciekawe, gdzie są te notatki. Aha. Okej. Dobra. Notatki, tam gdzieś. Dobra, ale tu mamy Solasa. Jego już zdążyliśmy poznać. On uratował podobno nam życie.
The chosen of Andraste, a blessed hero sent to save us all.
Aj, oby stary, oby.
I didn't ask for this, but someone has to find a way to seal this breach.
Spoken nobly indeed. You think I'm mocking you? This age has made people cynical. I've journeyed deep into the fade in ancient ruins and battlefields to see the dreams of lost civilizations. I've watched as hosts of spirits clash to reenact the bloody past in ancient wars, both famous and forgotten. Every great war has its heroes. I'm just curious what kind you'll be.
What do you mean ruins and battlefields?
Any building strong enough to withstand the rigors of time has a history. Every battlefield is steeped in death. Both attract spirits. They press against the veil, weakening the barrier between our worlds. When I dream in such places, I go deep into the fade. I can find memories no other living being has ever seen.
Aha, no okej. Jak możesz tam spać? No, wiesz co? Myślę, że on sobie tam jakoś poradzi.
You fall asleep in the middle of ancient ruins. Isn't that dangerous?
Pewnie nie.
I do set wards. And if you leave food out for the giant spiders, they are usually content to live and let live.
Aha. Okej. Przydatna rzecz.
I imagine you find some amazing things in there, alongside all the demons.
Exactly. It is occasionally dangerous, yes. But more often it's just sad to see what has been lost. The thrill of finding remnants of a 1,000-year-old dream? I would not trade it for anything. I will stay then. At least until the breach has been closed.
Was that in doubt?
I am an apostate surrounded by Chantry forces in the middle of a mage rebellion. Cassandra has been accommodating. But you understand my caution.
Rozumiem. No, myślę, że Cassandra cię ochroni.
Cassandra trusts you. She won't let anyone put you into a circle against your will.
Thank you. I appreciate the thought.
Spoko.
But now let us hope either the mages or the Templars have the power to seal the breach.
Okej. Spoko, nie będę tutaj cię jakoś straszył czy coś. Jeszcze mogę z tobą pogadać?
Closing the breach is our primary goal. But I hope we might also discover what was used to create it. Any artifact of such power is dangerous. The destruction of the Conclave proves that much.
No ciekawe.
You don't think whatever created the explosion was destroyed in the blast?
You survived, did you not? The artifact that created the breach is unlike anything seen in this age. I will not believe it destroyed until I see the shattered fragments with my own eyes.
We would do well to try to recover whatever created the breach.
Liliana's people have scoured the area near the blast and found nothing. Whatever the artifact was, it is no longer there. In any case, did you need me for anything?
Czy ja czegoś potrzebuję? A może opowiedz mi o sobie?
I'd like to know more about you, Solus.
Why?
No, szanuję twoje zdanie oczywiście.
You're an apostate, yet you risked your freedom to help the Inquisition.
Not the wisest course of action when framed that way.
I appreciate the work you're doing, Solus. I just wanted to know more about you.
Dokładnie.
I'm sorry. There's so much fear in the air. What would you know of me?
O Jezus, stary. No właśnie, współpracujesz z kimś?
Have you always traveled and studied alone?
Not at all. I have built many lasting friendships.
O, a jakich?
Spirits of wisdom, possessed of ancient knowledge, happy to share what they had seen. Spirits of purpose helped me search. Even wisps, curious and playful, would point out treasures I might have missed.
Aha. Ciekawe.
You trust these spirits not to possess you the first time you accidentally make a wish?
Do you trust your friends not to turn on you?
Well, yes, but they're people.
Ah, of course.
You know what I mean.
Are people only people because they are flesh and blood? Is Cassandra defined by her cheekbones and not her faith? Varric by his chest hair and not his wit?
No okej, stary, no to jest akurat logiczne. Duchy to też osoby w pewnym sensie, no ja się z tym jak najbardziej zgadzam. Nie wszystkie duchy są złe. Nie wszystkich trzeba traktować jedną miarą.
I hadn't thought about it that way. But I see your point.
Thank you. Few are willing to entertain such a notion.
Nie ma problemu. Jeszcze coś?
You said you'd traveled to many different places.
This world, or its memory, is reflected in the Fade. Dream in ancient ruins, and you may see a city lost to history.
Aha, no
Some of my
okej.
fondest memories were found in crumbling cities, long picked dry by treasure seekers, the best of the battlefields. Spirits press so tightly on the veil that you can slip across with but a thought.
No a tak przykładowo to które pola bitwy, co?
Any place in particular?
I dreamt at Ostagar. I witnessed the brutality of the Darkspawn and the valor of the Ferelden warriors.
No to ciekawe.
Sir Alistair and the hero Ferelden light the signal fire, and Logain's infamous betrayal of Caelan's forces.
No, przynajmniej jeden widział, co się stało naprawdę. No, Solas, już cię lubię, naprawdę jesteś w porządku, chłop. No, opowiedz. Chętnie posłuchamy tej historii, przypomnimy sobie.
I've heard the stories. It would be interesting to hear what it was really like.
That's just it. In the Fade, I see reflections created by spirits who react to the emotions of the warriors. One moment, I see heroic wardens lighting the fire, and a power-mad villain sneering as he lets King Caelan fall. The next, I see an army overwhelmed and a veteran commander refusing to let more soldiers die in a lost cause.
And you can't tell which is real.
It is the Fade. They are all real.
To ciekawe.
What made you start studying the Fade?
I grew up in a village to the north. There was little to interest a young man, especially one gifted with magic. But as I slept, spirits of the Fade showed me glimpses of wonders I had never imagined. I treasured my dreams. Being awake, out of the Fade, became troublesome.
No, mamy opcję specjalną, to skorzystajmy sobie z niej.
Did spirits try to tempt you?
No more than a brightly colored fruit is deliberately tempting you to eat it. I learned how to defend myself from more aggressive spirits, and how to interact safely with the rest. I learned how to control my dreams with full consciousness. There was so much I wanted to explore.
Tak. Dobrze, ale w końcu... No i kolejna opcja specjalna. Jak najbardziej skorzystajmy.
I gather you didn't spend your entire life dreaming.
No. Eventually, I was unable to find new areas in the Fade.
Why?
2 reasons. First, the Fade reflects the world around it. Unless I traveled, I would never find anything new.
No rozumiem.
Second, the Fade reflects and is limited by our imaginations. To find interesting areas, one must be interesting.
No, ja, stary, nie ma problemu, mogę cię wspierać.
I wish you luck.
Thank you. In truth, I've enjoyed experiencing more of life to find more of the fate.
No to ja jestem też
You strengthen
zadowolony.
your body to deliver and withstand punishment. The muscles are an enjoyable side benefit. You have chosen a path whose steps you do not dislike because it leads to a destination you enjoy.
Tak, tak, rozumiem
As
to.
have I.
Okej, wszystko, dobra, widzę, że pół odcinku spędziliśmy na
Goodbye.
gadce z Solasem, ale czy było warto? Myślę, że tak.
Greetings.
Że jak najbardziej. Dobra, o pustce ja już nic nie chcę wiedzieć. O pustce to ja już nic więcej nie chcę wiedzieć, przynajmniej na razie. Dobra, tu mamy Varrika. Aha, to jest... W tym budynku pewnie będzie jakiś quest główny. Tak mi się wydaje, więc może to sobie na razie odpuścimy. Czy my tutaj byliśmy? W tym domu? O, to jest w ogóle jakaś tawerna. No proszę, proszę. O, tu mogę przeczytać sobie. Bardzo chętnie. Opowieść o górach mroźnego grzbietu. Sobie to potem przeczytacie, bo to jest naprawdę kawał solidnego tekstu. Aha. Jezu, kto mi tutaj tak ładnie przyśpiewuje? Ona, spoko. Flissa, proszę bardzo. No hej.
What can you tell me about this area?
Jezus. Aha. Tak, tak, to już wiem.
Harris is the Inquisition smith. Whatever he can make you, Thren the quartermaster can probably find. And for anything fancier, you can try buying from Segret. His prices aren't too high. Yet. Oh, there's also Minave. She studies beasts and things, as I understand.
Okej.
Farewell.
Dzięki.
Goodbye.
Dzięki. Mam nadzieję, że nie będę miał problemu z prawem o tą muzykę. Mam nadzieję, że ona nic nie łamie, żadnych zasad z YouTube'a. Bo coś mi śmierdzi taką właśnie muzyką. Varric we własnej osobie. To co, drugie pół odcinka spędzimy na rozmowie z Varriciem? Czemu by nie? Z nim może być naprawdę ciekawa rozmowa. Siemano, Varric.
Now that Cassandra's out of earshot, are you holding up all right? I mean, you go from being the most wanted criminal in Thedas to joining the armies of the faithful. Most people would have spread that out over more than one day.
Widzisz, jak ten czas leci?
I'm just glad I'm still standing after all that.
I still can't believe you survived Cassandra. You're lucky you were out cold for most of her frothing rage. For days now, we've been staring at the breach, watching demons and maker knows what fall out of it. Bad for morale would be an understatement. I still can't believe anyone was in there and lived.
No proszę, proszę. Właśnie, dlaczego zostałeś,
If
co?
it was that bad, why did you stay? Cassandra said you were free to go.
No
I
właśnie.
like to think I'm as selfish and irresponsible as the next guy, but this... Thousands of people died on that mountain. I was almost one of them. And now there's a hole in the sky.
Aha.
Even I can't walk away and just leave that to sort itself out.
No rozumiem. No musimy zamknąć wyłom.
The breach needs to be sealed. The sooner the better.
Tak jest.
If it can be sealed, you might want to consider running at the first opportunity. I've written enough tragedies to recognize where this is going. Heroes are everywhere. I've seen that. But the hole in the sky... That's beyond heroes.
Oj stary, chyba wątpisz we mnie, co? Chyba we mnie wątpisz. Co, tylko tyle z Varriciem? Tak krótko?
Need something?
Mamy pytanie. Proszę, proszę, bohatera z Kirkwall. Czy tam Kirkwall. Zapytajmy się o niego jak najbardziej.
I've read your tale of the champion, and I have a few questions.
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
No oczywiście, że zbadajmy. A spytajmy się, co się stało z Andersem. Czemu by nie?
What happened to the mage who destroyed the Kirkwall Chantry? The book never said.
He fled Kirkwall with the mages from the Circle. Stayed with them a while, but he had to move on. Somehow a lot of mages blamed him for making them live as fugitives. I don't know where he is now, and I don't want to know.
Aha, to chyba tak średnio go lubisz, co? Chociaż myślałem, Varric, że tam w dwójce nic do niego nie miałeś. Znaczy, Varric może taki jest. Dobra, ale z tym Arishogiem to też może być fajne.
There is no way Hawk really could have killed the Arishok. It would have started a war with the Qunari.
I was told later that the Qunari disavowed his actions. Apparently the Arishok didn't get permission before he attacked Kirkwall, and the Qun didn't want another exalted march.
A, proszę,
They
proszę.
finally sent a ship to haul the Red Dreadnought away. They just said, "We will never speak of this again." As far as I can tell, that's the Qun's version of an apology.
No proszę, rozumiem. Czyli ten Arishok działał wbrew świętemu Kun i tych swoich przywódców, no to nieładnie.
In the book you say that first enchanter Orsino turned himself into a giant monster made of corpses.
No, pamiętamy. Ciekawa walka, ciekawa.
Do I look like an expert on magical weirdness to you?
No,
I
nie
can't
bardzo.
tell you how. For the why, all I can say is he was desperate.
Dobra, a teraz najważniejsze pytanie, gdzie są przyjaciele Hoła?
Where are the rest of Hawk's associates now?
Meryl decided to look after the elves left homeless by the fighting. She's done a pretty good job of keeping them away from the mages and Templars, so far. I guess she has plenty of practice avoiding stupid human battles with her old Dalish clan. Fenris has kept himself busy, hunting down the Tevinter slavers who came south to prey on the refugees. I'm not sure exactly where he is at the moment. You can usually follow the trail of corpses, though. Isabella went back to the raiders. She's calling herself an admiral now.
Grubsza
I don't know if
sprawa.
she's actually in charge or just has a really big hat. Might be the same thing, honestly. Adeline is still guard captain. I'm pretty sure Kirkwall would fall into the sea if she quit her job.
Trzyma to wszystko w ryzach. No i co, tylko tyle? Czy coś jeszcze?
Need something?
I've read your tale of the champion, and I have a few questions.
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
Nieważne, spoko. Ale nie, to jeszcze nie to. Jeszcze coś tam mamy, jakieś opcje.
Can I ask you something, Varric?
No właśnie.
Want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lives.
Oj, wiem. Skąd pochodzisz, co?
You from Ferelden? Orlais?
Free marches, born and raised in Kirkwall. And despite whatever you've heard, no, Kirkwall's not that bad.
No, zależy kiedy. Ja byłem w tym mieście, więc wiesz, Varric. Różnie bywa.
How do you and Cassandra know each other?
You heard about the Kirkwall Chantry being destroyed? The guy responsible used to be a friend of mine.
Były
The Seeker
przyjaciel?
had questions about that, and I had answers.
Ale czemu były przyjaciel? No bez jaj, nie wypieraj się go, Varric. A teraz czym się zajmujesz?
I'm not clear on your line of work. You're a merchant?
I'm a businessman. My family has a seat in the Dwarven Merchants Guild. Merchants buy and sell goods. Businessmen buy and sell stores.
Proszę,
In my
proszę.
spare time, I manage a spy network, and occasionally I write books.
Dobra, jakieś pytanko?
If you've run a spy network, why is Liliana our spy master?
To be honest with you, she's just a better spy master.
Aha.
The truly great ones can keep their distance. They don't get attached to their people. Me, I always wind up babysitting my informants and worrying about their families. We're in better hands with her.
No, jeśli chodzi pod tym względem, to tak. A jakie książki piszesz,
You're an
co?
author? What kind of books have you written?
I've tried my hands at a few genres. My crime serials are my most popular. Hard in Hightown, guards breaking the rules to get things done. The Tale of the Champion is the most famous thing I've written, or infamous maybe. I started a romance serial once, Swords and Shields, but to be honest, I don't have a knack for romance.
No rozumiem,
Most
rozumiem.
of my stories end in tragedy. Probably that says something unfortunate about me personally.
No pewnie nie, a tam sklepy?
What sort of shops do you own?
Actually, we don't own shops. That was just an example. Mostly we invest in money lenders.
Aha, no to spoko.
Auction houses, a few mercenary companies, a couple of smithies. I think we own half a beet plantation in Ravine somewhere. Most of that's my brother's doing. Bartrand had business sense. Not much tact, but loads of business sense.
No okej, a opowiedz mi o swojej kuszy może,
Where did you
co?
get that crossbow? I've never seen one like it.
Bianca, she's one of a kind. I got her off a guy in Darktown. Took me a week to pry his dead fingers off the stock.
A Bianka? Dlaczego Bianka?
Who is she named for?
I can't tell you.
A czemu nie, co?
And the reason for that is...
Complicated. It's the one story I'll never tell. We just have to leave it at that.
No
Thanks,
okej.
Eric.
No problem.
Skoro to wszystko, to wszystko. Czy coś jeszcze,
Need
Variku?
something?
A może... A, jeszcze o czerwonym lyrium.
The red lyrium we found at the temple seemed to upset you.
No
My
właśnie.
brother Bartrand and I sort of discovered red lyrium during an expedition in the deep roads. We located an ancient tide, so old it barely looked dwarven. There was this idol there made of it.
Aha,
Bartrand
kojarzę
brought it
ten
back to the
problem.
surface, and, well, everything's gone downhill from there.
Ej, no kojarzę to, no rzeczywiście.
What makes it special?
Regular lyrium can mess you up pretty badly, but you have to ingest it for that to happen. Red lyrium messes with your mind when you're just near the stuff. You hear singing, get violent, paranoid, and then
Czy jest
it
po
does
prostu
creepy
mocniejsze.
shit. Makes things float, brings statues to life. It also turned Kirkwall's Knight Commander to lyrium. Everyone's been kept at least 100 paces from it since.
No, ona też od tego oszalała, pamiętamy to bardzo dobrze.
So what is it? Just another kind of lyrium?
The red stuff is lyrium like a dragon is a lizard. It's not just a different color. It has a whole host of weirdness all its own. I've written to every mining cast house in Orzammar. No one's seen this stuff before or knows where it came from.
No to ciekawe, jeśli ci górnicy z Orzammaru o tym nie wiedzą, o czerwonym lyrium, no to jest zastanawiające, no co jak co, ale oni się na takich rzeczach powinni znać.
How did the red lyrium get in the Temple of Sacred Ashes?
I don't know. So as far as I knew, the only piece to make it to the surface was destroyed. And the location of the tide it came from is a secret. Did someone find more of it in the deep roads? That's not a cheery thought.
No, pewnie, że nie. Dobra, ale chyba już
I
wszystko,
think that's
co?
enough on red lyrium.
Yeah, not really my favorite subject.
Chyba już wszystko. Dostaliśmy też zadanie od Varricka, spoko. Dobra, ale cały odcinek już nam zleciał oczywiście. Oczywiście cały odcinek nam zdążył już zlecieć na rozmowie z Solasem i Varrickiem, no ale co no. Ja tam jestem zadowolony z tych rozmów jak najbardziej. Nie ma żadnego problemu.
Many wounded, and not enough bandages to go around. Start tearing off shirts then.
Dobra, tam będą questy. Okej. A czemu ja ten quest jeszcze mam podświetlony? Tutaj. To jest troszkę dziwne. Dobra, ale tym zajmiemy się w następnym odcinku. Na dzisiaj to by było na tyle. Mam nadzieję, że się wam odcinek spodoba. Zostawicie jakiś znak po sobie, zalajkujecie, zasubskrybujecie kanał. Oczywiście też będzie mi miło, jak zalajkujecie również fanpage'a. A na dzisiaj to tyle, więc trzymajcie się. Cześć.